Well, welcome to Extra Point on Southwestern Montana News. Our program today is brought to you by Best of the West Properties, Dennis Sherg of Edward Jones, 82 Coffee Company, Susan McRae Accounting, and Dream Motors. And Zach McRae, head coach at BCH. You know, it's funny, Zach. I'll complete my interview, but Zach McRae, Dillon Beaver head football
Yeah.
coach. Technically, we're not the Dillon Beavers. We're the Beaverhead County Beavers,
Right.
but you don't see it anything else but the Dillon Beavers, except once. When I was doing a little research for this game, there was a newspaper article and it talked about the BCHS Beavers.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So somebody
Yeah.
got it under control.
No doubt.
Anyway, welcome back for another episode of Extra
Yeah.
Point, and congratulations. Top ranked, defending Class A champions. You stayed unbeaten. 21-7 win over Columbia Falls. Seemed like it was just a little tighter game this time. There was no running clock for one thing.
Yeah.
So just thoughts on the overall thoughts on the win.
Yeah. Yeah. We got, it seems like we got a little bit of external noise going on right now. People want to rank us number one. We feel like we got miles to go. And so, reminding them that nobody places bigger expectations on us than ourselves. And so we're just trying to stay week to week. Columbia Falls is a well-coached team. They got a nice young quarterback that can sling the ball around the park. And I was just, 21-7 does not tell the story of how close that felt. I mean, that felt until the final incomplete pass where we got to go into victory formation. It felt like it was a tight one the whole way. I'm just so proud of our defense. I think we gave up 3 total yards rushing. If you don't, when you factor in the quarterback sacks, it's in the negative. Gave up about 200 yards passing, and we just got some things to clean up. It was a good first competitive game, but I'm always proud of the ability of our guys to gut it out over 4 quarters. And things are not perfect. We don't play a perfect game. It's not a black and white game in which there's just X's and O's and it's right steps and left steps. Good opponents make you do things that can be really challenging, and Columbia Falls did that to us. I thought there was a lot of cool things that happened. I also think that when the defense gives us the ball inside our own 55 consecutive possessions, we got to score more than once. And so, it's not a back to the drawing board type of game, but certainly the emphasis is we got to find ways to move the ball. We had our starting center out a little dinged up, and we decided to kind of limit the damage, and we'll have him back. But yeah, we're just excited to practice, and we're excited to get back to it. We saw a lot of things on film that we got to clean up, and today it was right back to the grind. And so that's what I'm thankful of. We got guys that are hungry to be better. We got guys that want to play at a high level and do play at a high level. We just got to clean up some of those fundamentals that good teams force you to have some mistakes on.
Well, you emphasized the play of your defense, and I remember an old football coach adage said, offense scores points, but defense wins football games.
Yeah, there's no question. And Gary Ferris, our DC, now replaced by his nephew Jason Ferris, always said, if the other team doesn't score, it's awful hard to lose. And so, they've just played 2 weeks tremendous. We just have high expectations, and so we're staying in that week-to-week grind.
Is Gary saying, is that like on a plaque in the locker room somewhere?
No, it should be, and I know we said it last week, but we sure miss those guys, for sure.
Okay, so do you give team honors after games? I've been going to ask you this, and I keep forgetting. Do you give team honors?
Yeah, a couple years ago, we started a kind of a toughness player of the game. With it being high school and guys playing both ways, we were trying to figure out how to award something that we really value, and we started giving out a toughness award. Our helmets are not here. We usually give them little helmets to commemorate the game, but it's intended to show guys that are playing full speed for 4 quarters, and it's something that we've been really proud of in the past. It doesn't mean you executed perfectly But your hunger level and your toughness level was at a championship. And if we were to pick our last week, Carter Kerno, just kind of I think the leader of our defense and leader of our team, he continues to show all the intangibles that makes him really special, and that's just not on the field. And then a guy back to our program after taking a year off is Robbie Wharton. He's an outside linebacker, and man, he keeps playing really fast, and he's been showing up in some things in other people's offensive backfields that I'm not sure they're ready for. And so, Robbie and Carter continue to do a great job on that defensive end. We're going to have to put up more than 21 on some of that for us to award an offensive guy, but I think we're moving in the right direction.
Okay. Well, we're going to go off the football field, off the games, and why don't you give us a skinny on what's a typical week like for Dillon Beaver football, from the coaches, the players. What's your week look like?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes the days feel a little bit long, but the weeks are so short. Our weeks just go in a blur. We really start on Sundays. Our coaching staff comes in at 8 a.m., and we evaluate the last game, and then we evaluate the opponent. We usually go from about 8 to 11, especially if one of the guys that we're talking about is playing it on the 11 o'clock kickoff. We like to make sure that we're in a position where we can watch him. But we get all of our prep work done for the next opponent, and then the rest is homework on Sunday, where we're developing the scouting report. We're putting our effort tape together to show Monday, and our first contact with the players is Monday. We do a team film at noon, and we watch our effort plays, and we go through special teams. And then practice it's a big mental day. Mondays we go from about 4 to 6:30 or 7. We watch film, we clean up the mistakes, we introduce the opponent, and then we go out and we run and we condition. And then after we condition, we install the next opponent and then kick them out. And it's a little bit of physical day, but largely a mental day. We've ran 1,000 yards, which is 20 50s for as long as I can remember. It's just a little bit of a toughness period. And then Tuesday, Wednesdays, I meet with the quarterbacks at noon. If we need to do extra meetings, I know the linemen met with Coach Nordahl today at noon, and they enjoy doing that. And then it's a full padded practice Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday, we do a team film at noon, and we test them on their techniques. So we give an offensive test, and if we need to, we give some defensive reminders. We watch film, kick them out over the lunch period, and then Thursday is pregame, and so it's a sprint through. We're just in helmets. We're cleaning things up. Everything should be really polished at that point, offensively, defensively, and then we run through our specialist checklist. And then Friday, it's just go time.
It's game time.
Yeah, it's pretty special. I don't think there's anything quite like Friday nights under the lights. And as a coach, I've got to prolong those Friday nights a little bit longer, but I sure remember them as a player. I remember putting on the blue and gold and going out and fighting with your brothers. And so Friday nights is really special. Saturday's off. We send out a couple reminders on Saturdays, and then rinse and repeat, baby.
Okay. Well, thanks, Zach. And I'll tell you what, we're going to talk about your opponent on Friday night, and we'll do it after this on Extra Point on Southwestern Montana News.
Summer days are cooling down, but the deals at Dream Motors are hotter than ever. Stop by 445 North Montana Street and check out these hot deals. Or give us a call at 406-596-1874.
Well, back to Extra Point, and in the studio is Zach McCrae, Beaverhead County High School football
Yeah,
coach.
let's go.
We'll say it again. We'll say it
Perfect.
again. Hopefully people know that it's better known as Dillon Beaver
Yeah.
football, but we'll be proper at least
Yeah,
once or
for
twice.
sure.
So 2 weeks on the road, or at home, now you hit on the road.
Yeah.
And you travel to the unfriendly confines of Frenchtown, Montana. Broncs are 3 in the state,
Yep.
and they're 3-0. They've got wins over Corvallis, Columbia Falls, and Lakeland of Rathdown, Idaho. That's an interesting trip. And they're coached by a former Bulldog,
Yep.
former Western Bulldog, Seth Mason. So those meetings and stuff that you held, planning things,
Sure.
how does Frenchtown shape up? I know they've got another good team.
Yeah, they're good. We don't see any visible weak spots in how they line up and in their personnel. There's a reason they're 3-0. They're well coached. They got a lot of good athletes, which starts with their quarterback, a guy who's played a lot of snaps for him. He's going to be a hard guy to contain in the pocket, and he plays a pretty mean safety on defense too. And so we got our hands full with them personnel-wise. They got a really nice tight end, D end, number 21, who's going to be as challenging at D end as we've had to this point. And yeah, I mean we're headed there. I'm told it's their homecoming, and so I don't know. This is what I love. I love headed into a hostile environment in a big game. I've never shied away from big games. We've never shied away from expectations. We're gonna prepare the best that we can. I think the important part is to handle practice first. Today we got our first look at some of their offense and defense, and yeah, they present some challenges. But this has been and always will be about the Dillon Beavers and our willingness to prepare at a high level. And so we play a faceless opponent every week. The only thing that's challenging us, the ultimate opponent, is ourselves. And so, yeah, we're headed into a really fun environment this week. But we accept that challenge. We're excited for it. I think it's going to be a good battle, and we'll give it everything we got.
Well, you talked about executing. It's interesting, asking a coach once, did he have specific plays in the playbook to pick up a first down, to do this, to do that? And he said no. He said every play we have is designed to score a touchdown.
Yeah.
And he said the only thing that comes between us is if all 11 of our players follow their assignments to the letter.
Yeah.
So that's what you're talking about, all the preparation.
Yeah.
You can go in there totally prepared and on one play make one mistake, and
Yeah.
that could be the game.
Right. Yeah, and sometimes it's hard to replicate an opponent's speed, and Frenchtown's really fast. But, like you said, we got to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves and that we're preparing at a high level so that practices are moving faster than the games. So that our players can kind of turn their brains off and react to what they're seeing because they've been prepared the right way. I mean, that's the ultimate goal of practice. Once we get to Friday, we're all just trying to find adjustments and finding ways to win. And so, the bulk of the work comes in the week, and then Fridays we just get to turn it loose. And so we're excited to turn it loose on Friday.
Yeah, yeah. Well, last week you talked about how proud you were of all the former Beavers now playing college football, and we had talked about the fact that the game last Saturday at Western, I think there was 6 or 7 total former Beavers that were there. And I got reminded last night when I was watching Monday Night Football about another former Beaver.
Yeah, for sure. You're talking about the ultimate Dillon Beaver. Troy Anderson playing middle linebacker for the Falcons. Boy, I don't even know how to describe it. It's humbling. It's cool. It's special to turn on a TV and see a guy that came through our programs and then was obviously really successful at Montana State, kind of a homegrown guy playing on Sundays and Mondays. I just don't think there's anything cool. I think at one point in the game, I was asking my wife, I just said, can we just be on defense all the time? Because I just want to keep watching him play. But you're talking about another high-quality human, a guy that, what people don't see is the work that he puts in behind closed doors. We have fond memories of Troy and his group. One of them is our offensive line coach, Todd Nordahl, graduated with Troy. Those guys put in a lot of work behind closed doors. I remember mandatory 4 days a week lifting, multiple times a day of open gym, mandatory throwing on the field. There was nothing that they weren't willing to do to chase down their big goals. And, I'm sure Troy gets a lot of credit for his work ethic, but a lot of us have seen it firsthand. And he's always first class. He doesn't want the attention. He doesn't He doesn't enjoy being in the spotlight, and that's a testament to him. He's the ultimate team guy. And we support him and we love him. We're excited when he comes back home, and we're excited to see him on the TV. What he does for the community with that Troy Anderson football camp, he doesn't have to do that. And he comes back and he does it for the community. And so, yeah, the ultimate Dylan Beaver. We've got to celebrate his cool stuff on the field for a long time. But I really do want to highlight he's the ultimate human too. And it's fun to chat with him, to check in on him when he checks in on us. Before last year's state championship game was their bye week, and he came down and talked to the team on our Thursday before. He's very generous with his time, and we just love watching him on Sundays and Mondays.
Okay. Well, good luck on Friday night as you hit the road. Got your snack bags.
Yeah, baby.
Got them ready to go for that trip over to
Yeah.
Frenchtown.
Yep.
And we'll see you back next week where we'll talk hopefully about a Dylan Beaver victory. And we'll just talk Beaver foot. Maybe one of these days too, as we get deeper into the season, we can bring a Beaver or two.
Yeah,
in.
no doubt. We'll bring some of our guys, and they'll get to chat with you. You'll get to see some of those things that we're talking about in high quality humans. But yeah, on to Frenchtown. Here we go.
Okay. Thanks, Zach. Thanks
Yep.
for coming in.
Thank you.
Our program today has been brought to you by Best of the West Properties, Dennis Sherg of Edward Jones, 82 Coffee Company, Susan McCrae Accounting, and Dream Motors. We'll see you next time on Extra Point on Southwestern Montana News.